Hi everyone, Kaz here from Daisy Poppets farm. I just thought I'd like to pop on here to do a first tour of what is going to be Daisy Poppets farm. It is a 5-acre property up in Booie in Queensland. We're in the South Burnett region, which is about 20 minutes away from Kingaroy and 10 minutes away from Nanango. South Burnett region is quite a lovely spot. There's a lot of things to do, such as like visit the peanut silos in Kingaroy, to visiting the BP Dam up near Murgon and Cherbourg, and you've got wineries between Murgon and Booie. There's also wineries up in Booie, and there's wineries also all around Kingaroy and Nanango. So I have to apologise for the sound of like ride-on mowers in our yard and across the road. I'm sorry, but we're expecting rain and we want to get it done as quickly as possible. So without further ado, let's go on this tour. So this is the front of the property, and I'm just going to walk along the front of the boundary fence. So it has got quite a wide street, I don't know what you call it, like the street front, I suppose. And this council strip is massive. Like, I don't know, maybe like probably as big as, I don't know, 6 suburban backyards in Sydney. But anyway, you can see like the house yard just through there. It's just like I don't know actually how big it is, but I think it's about 1/4 of an acre, and it's just contained by the dog mesh fence. It's quite a nice little area. Got some bottle brush in there. The king parrots and red-winged parrots, pale-faced rosellas and the apostle birds like to visit in there quite often. So what I'm thinking about doing with this front area is either make it into a flower meadow, so I can grow some flowers to dry, maybe some herbs, but I'm not quite sure. Like, it's a bit scrubby in there, so but at least I've got some material there to maybe start some raised garden beds for our vegetable garden. I just have to wait and see. I'm going to leave all the native trees, and I'll probably get rid of most of these trees that are lining the driveway. I think they're like some type of Asian pine tree. I know that the king parrots love eating the seeds, but I think it would look much better if I plant more bottle brushes, and that way I can probably entice more honey eater birds onto the property. I have seen a few, like next door. She's got more bottle brush in her yard. I can only see 2 in my house yard, but I did buy a couple of bottle brushes from Murgon a couple of days ago. So this is our driveway. We're going to have to replace the front fence, the front gate as well. There's probably quite a few fences that we're going to have to go along and fix, but you know, one job at a time. You know, we just replaced the letterbox. So these are the pine that I'm thinking about getting rid of. I think, I'm not quite sure, but I think they might be on their way out anyways. If anyone knows anything about trees, can you let me know? But as I said, I'd much prefer bottle brush or grevillea, or other native Australian flowering bushes to entice more of our birds into our yard.
Come on, Pato.
Oh, Dad's not very nice, is he? Off you go, Coop. So anyway, the driveway goes up the left hand side of our property, fair way up, and it kind of leads around to the back of the house, as you will see in a moment. So technically that's supposed to be the front of the house. So we've got 2 poly tanks at the side of the house, and then there's verandas on the other 3 sides of the house. So we've got, sorry, should really take you down this side first. So this is what we're calling the front paddock, as I said before, and then around the house yard, and in the house yard we've still got those pine trees. I'm not quite sure what they're called, some type of Asiatic pine. So as you can see, I've still got a lot of boxes to unpack. Yeah, hopefully I'll be through all of them by this afternoon. So just walking back through the front paddock. So walk around the house yard so you can get an idea of how big it is. At first I wanted to actually put like a kitchen garden within the house yard, but there's the septic tank is actually just outside near the clothesline, so I didn't think it would be a good idea. So what we're thinking about doing is actually having a kitchen garden run along here. There's plenty of room, and we'll probably end up putting a couple of chicken coops and chicken pens in this area. It's quite a big area. I'm even thinking about maybe doing like a herb garden for herbal teas, and even some native like lemon myrtle, cinnamon myrtle. Yeah, it's quite a big space actually. Like it's a very unusual shape, and until you actually walk it, you really don't get the grasp of like actually how big the area is. But anyways, just about to get to where our back paddock is. So I'm still really undecided. I think like in the area that we just walked through, we could probably like incorporate fruit trees in that area because it's quite big, but our issue is that we have to rely on rainwater. We don't have a bore, we don't have town water, so we'll have to probably get more smaller tanks to actually be next to the gardens. I really don't want to like run like miles and miles of ag pipe here, there and everywhere. And so this area we could maybe like use for some small livestock. I would really love to get some alpacas and llamas. I don't know, obviously they're a herd animal and you can't just get one. So I've always loved the look of alpacas, and I like to crochet and knit, and I just think it would be really beneficial for me. It would be very probably like more therapeutic for me to have like such beautiful animals on their property. But we'll just have to wait and see. So next door they have a lot of miniature ponies or miniature horses. I'm not quite sure. I'm sorry, I'm like so vague at the moment. I just haven't really gotten too close to them to actually see what they are, but they look more like miniature horses to me. And Mr. Koopy has decided that he wants to join us up to the, when we're just walking up to the dam through, I don't know, it's a middle or back paddock, but there's even more property up here. And this spot here is where Andy got bogged. Scott decided to give her a bit of a driving lesson, and she managed to bog the ute into, and we tried to get the ute out using my car, but the ground was very soft and I actually started to dig in, so we stopped that and Scott had to call a tow truck in, and $660 later he got the ute out. So down here you can see the back of the house yard, or the side of the house yard. It's very confusing, like the way the layout of the yard is, but we're now facing east, so we can catch really nice, quite beautiful sunrises. Across the road is another horse property, and I'm not quite sure if it's the same property, but behind that front paddock across the road there's a lot of cattle, so as I just say, it's a combined horse and cattle property. That's just next door. I don't think she has any animals in there besides the natural wildlife. That's Cooper. You'll see him in a lot of videos. So we're getting into another paddock. It's a bit scrubby, so we could probably use this as well for livestock. As you can see over here, there's a open open fence, or what should be a gate there. So before we get any livestock in, we're going to have to really think about the fences. Don't want to actually lose any livestock once you invest in them. So Koopy pretty much knows his way up to the dam. He loves walking up here. So we've got a lot of native trees planted within here. Dare say a bird or two have dropped some jacaranda seeds. I quite like the look of jacaranda. It reminds me of like holidays spent with my grandparents down south in Casino. There's a town near Casino called Grafton that's very well known for the jacaranda trees. But jacaranda are not native to Australia, they're actually from South America. There's some dreaded lantana. I know Americans like lantana, but here in Australia we don't. It's very invasive. It seems to choke out a lot of our native vegetation. So over here, some type of cactus. It looks like dragon fruit. So it might be prickly pear. So I'll have to get Scott to come up and, you know, we'll get rid of it. As we see it, we'll get rid of it because Scott really dislikes prickly bushes. Yeah, they're, you know, being an ex-cattleman, he's probably had to like deal with more than his fair share of prickly pear and cactus, and they're actually classed as a noxious weed in most of the eastern states, probably all of our states in Australia. So as I said before, as we see it, we'll get rid of it, and try not to let things get on top of us. So this is the dam. So what Scott, actually no, it wasn't Scott, it was Andy. She suggested that maybe we could put a gazebo up here so we can enjoy the dam. Maybe like have barbecues up here or something like that. It seems fairly flat here. We probably wouldn't have to do too much to level it off, and I think actually here would be like a really nice spot, nice and shaded. Obviously we're not going to really want to get rid of any of these trees unless they're diseased and start dropping their branches. Yeah, I've just got to see where Mr. Cooper's gotten himself to, because it actually is a bit scrubby in here and I don't want to lose him. So hang out while I just call him back. Coop, come here. Come on. Oh, you're a good boy. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. So, as you can see, this is the dam. There's an overflow pipe just over to the right, and that overflow pipe leads into I think it's a creek that runs through the property as well. The dam goes like all the way back through here, and it goes into the neighbouring property as well. And I think it is like actually like a natural creek that runs through a lot of the properties here. Anyways, we'll walk around and I can show you what that overflow pipe will be could possibly flow into. So Sorry, I'm all jumbled up. So we know that, or have seen, a few wallabies up in this area, especially in the morning and at dusk. They like coming up here and having a drink, but there is plenty of spots for them to have water around here. So to my right, you can see what I mean. Like there's, I think this is a creek. It's not dammed up or anything like that. So when it does get filled up, it could flow into there. So as I said before, I know I keep repeating myself, but before we put any livestock in, we need to like maybe put in like a fence just through there to make sure none of the livestock hurts themselves. And I can just make out the ears and the face of a wallaby in that grass. So I don't want to go too much closer for Coop to like pick up her smell, because she's doing a really good job hiding. So I might actually be very quick in getting out of this area, because I really don't want Coop. Might cut this video short and come back later. Like I can just make her out. I don't know whether or not you can, but see, there she goes. I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, she's making a run for it. Okay, now that I know that she's gone, we'll just continue on. Coop, come on. Yeah, I really don't want Coop to get into the habit of chasing them. Yeah, that looked like a just a common, I shouldn't say common, but a common wallaby or common woolaroo. So still got like heaps of like area behind the dam, like neighbouring, backs onto our neighbour's property, and I'm not sure if you can see like that little ponies running around just behind that big black tank. But still, like this is like a huge area. This would, I don't know, like my yard back in Sydney would fit in here probably about twice maybe. But anyways, I don't want to walk through there because it's a bit grassy, and I want to like keep an eye out for creepy crawlies and all those slippery things. So you can see there's some more cacti in here. We really need to get up here and dig it out. But yeah. Sorry if my camera angles are all off because I'm walking as I go. So we're getting pretty close to like the neighbour's fence, and yeah, you can see I just keep making sure that Coop doesn't get too excited with the ponies, and all the ponies get too excited with him being there. So it does look like she's got quite a few ponies or miniature horses down here. Yeah. So we're just walking like the back fenced area. It's huge, this area. Like it, I don't know what we would do with this area, but doesn't look like the soil's very good. It seems very compacted, so whatever is up here would have to be either on raised beds, or it will take a long time to do anything with. But yeah, I'm going to leave for now because it keeps just over near a fence that I don't want in here, and I'm going to go back to the house yard and I'll give you a tour of what's actually inside the house yard. So I got Coop away from that fence that I didn't want him near, so I just thought I'd like just come along more of the back fence along here, and then you can see what the back of the dam looks like. Coop? There's that overflow pipe that I was telling you about earlier. Maybe just having a bit of a, oh, you're a bit hot there, mate. A bit hot there. Good boy. So if we got alpacas, they probably love dunking themselves in there in summer, but I have no idea how deep it is, so I don't know. I'm so vague at the moment. Anyway, we're just walking our way back to the house yard. Scott's been very good in trying to make sure that there's a path. Come on, Coopy. Coop. There's a path back through the paddock that's mowed. Sorry about the noise of the ride-on mower. The gentleman across the road is doing a bit of yard work, probably before it starts raining. We're having some pretty wild weather here on the eastern states of Australia at the moment. I feel so sorry for the people down in New South Wales, Victoria and Tasmania. Like, we've been really hit by some really bad floods in the last year or so. You know, if it's not one thing, it's the other. You know, first off, it goes in cycles. There's drought, fire, flood, and then it just like ends up like going in a circle. I know it's nature, but I don't think we have done Mother Nature any favours either. And climate change, and all that. We haven't been kind to our planet. So the whole idea about moving away from Sydney, away from the majority of my family, was so that, I don't know, we could move closer to Scott's family. We're pretty much halfway between Sydney and Townsville. The majority of my family live in Sydney. The majority of Scott's family live over in Proserpine or Townsville in North Queensland. And I actually do have a large proportion of my family on my dad's side living in Western Australia, which is way too far to travel at the moment. But anyway, we're just going into the house yard again, and actually my daughter Andy is mowing, so it might get a bit louder. So here you can see some plants that Andy and myself bought. Yeah, he's been swimming. He dunked his whole body in. So I got some more bottle brush from a nursery up at Murgon. They specialise in roses and irises. Irises are actually Andy's favourite flowers, so she couldn't resist this beautiful iris here, which is like a, what colour is that supposed to be? That was it's called glistening icicles. And then this one hasn't flowered yet, it's magenta glow. But I really loved how vibrant these bottle brushes were, and I thought I'd grab them. I need to go to Bunnings to get some pots so I can plant them up. And I bought these daisies at Petite Lavender Farm at Coolangatta, which is only about 15 minutes away. Lovely, lovely spot. If you're ever in the South Burnett region, please drop into Petite Lavender Farm. They're only open on weekends, on Saturday and Sunday, from 10 AM in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. Absolutely beautiful gardens. It's supposed to be the biggest lavender lavender product seller in all of Australia. They've got some beautiful homewares and gourmet gifts on offer, as well as lavender plants for sale. And you can also pick your own lavender. I think she sells 50 stems of lavender for only $7.95. That is so cheap. Anyways, about to go into the house yard. You know, we do live here, so yep, we've got washing on the line. And then just over here, another native plant, like gum. Not quite sure what type it is. That's supposed to be a crepe myrtle. This is the castle chicken coop that we set up yesterday because we rescued a silky rooster. Don't know if you can see him. See if I can open him up. I don't want to open him up because we had a horrible time trying to catch him yesterday. I don't know if you can see him. He's in there though. I don't want to stress him too much out because we only picked him up yesterday, and yeah. So this is supposed to be a crepe myrtle. They usually like flower in summer, so we still got a ways off to see it in full colour. Pretty much undecided whether or not I want to keep the crepe myrtle, and we'll replace it with another native. Over there is another crepe myrtle, and then on the outside here we've got the dreaded lantana. That's gonna go. Sorry, I just can't stand lantana. It drives me insane, like, to see what it's done to our waterways and choking out our native vegetation. So as you can see, the house yard is quite big. We've got some more gum trees here, and then We have a bottle brush. I'm pretty sure it is the same variety as this beauty over here. So like smaller birds love this tree to hide out in. They will hide in amongst the leaves and branches. So yesterday I discovered that we had, actually was able to like photograph them so I could identify them. We have grey crowned babblers that visit the yard. If you haven't guessed, I love our native wildlife and I love being able to identify them, and our natural native vegetation. So if I can, I will be replacing exotic plants in the house yard with natives, just for not only aesthetics but to give our birds more of a natural selection in food. So down here we have spider plants. Spider plants are a noxious weed. I will be getting rid of this slowly but surely, and as you can see that the dog has been just laying in it, so should just let it go. I would probably try and put in some type of native grass and see how we go with that. So one of the reasons why I want to get rid of like these pines is that they're actually sitting on top of the roof and it's going to end up doing the roof damage. But there's like slight damage already to the roof that we need to like get fixed, but it's only just going to make it worse. So, and I was actually thinking that this area, I don't know if we could like extend it out and make like a deck, and for entertaining purposes, because it faces the east, we won't get like the glaring, you know, Aussie afternoon sun. It'll be like, it's a nice shaded spot, and even in this spot here I might put in a nice table setting, because it will be like really nice either in the morning to catch, you know, sunrises, and then in the afternoon like sunsets up there. It's a massive work in progress, I know that, and just one project at a time, and try not to get too overwhelmed. My mind is just going wild with the possibilities that this 5-acre property has. I know I might be rambling on a bit and I do apologise, but I am really excited about this. This is something that I have been thinking of for a good majority of my life. But anyways, so this little spot is where Scott likes to have his coffee in the morning, and it gets visited by king parrots, red-winged parrots, apostle birds, magpies, pale-headed rosellas, and lorikeets. Quite often. It's quite nice here in the morning. Not so nice at the moment with the ride-on mower in the background, sorry. But yeah, we just need to like get this done before it starts raining tomorrow, because we think that it's going to be raining for the next week or so. And yeah, just want to try and keep the grass down fairly low, so we can, you know, spot any snakes that might be in amongst the grass. So that's the end of the first tour of Daisy Poppets farm. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and hope to see you soon. Bye for now. So we're replacing this dodgy looking letterbox with a new one that we got from Bunnings yesterday. Yeah, just need something that will last a bit longer than plastic. So that's what Scott's up to now. So this is our new letterbox that Scott has just put on top of the post. As requested, it is up high. As we were installing it, the post lady had turned up to deliver the mail, and she asked whether or not we could put it up as high as possible so she doesn't have to get out of her vehicle when she delivers the mail. So anyway, thought we'd just try and help her out by doing so.